Hello, I'm Blake Scarlevai, and in this video I'm going to show off the new UI for what is now being called workflows. So Microsoft renamed agent flows to workflows, of course, and last week they released a new UI for public preview. So we're going to dive in and take a look and see what it's all about. So here I'm in Copilot Studio. I just quickly built a time off agent, and what I normally would do to get an agent flow or now a workflow going is to come to tools and then do add a tool. However, at least in my environment, if I do that and click agent flow, it's still the old agent flow UI that we're used to. So what you can do for now is just instead of doing it in the agent, you can click on flows at the left, and here it's already some of it's named to renamed to workflow. So here we can click on this new workflow, and this is going to give us the new UI here. So it has gone from the vertical approach to now a horizontal approach. So here's the trigger, and we'll keep building and adding steps, and it's going to keep moving to the right. So that's one change. Another change that I really like a lot is if you click on the trigger here, so this is just a manual trigger, we can add our inputs like normal, but the nice thing is before, if I wanted a different trigger, I would have to delete the trigger node and then add a new trigger. Whereas here, I can just click on this and then I can click on the trigger type, and it gives me all other options such as HTTP, the recurrence, and the manual. Those are the three main ones. Or I can click on connector and use the typical connector triggers that we're used to. So for this, by default, it's just doing a manual, which will not work for an agent flow. I need to do the typical when an agent calls this type of trigger. So I can search for that. It should be under like the Copilot Studio, I believe. I don't know why it's not showing. Maybe I just search for Copilot Studio. There we go. Oh, it's under skills, that's why. So when an agent calls the flow, so that's what we'll want in order to make this like an agent flow that we're used to. Um, so the other things that are new is before we just had this add a step, right? And I click on this, um, it gives me everything that's possible. All connectors, all the like, variables, functions, um, every possibility, right? And then I just have to search through or go through these like groups, etc. But now we have this nice little handy kind of shortcut on the left. So we have our agent things like calling another agent. We can do an AI prompt, a classification model. We can call it the M365 Copilot. We can do like the human in a loop with a human review. Connectors are, what we're used to with like a Power Automate, where all possible connectors that we can use. So what's nice is some of these, I click on agent, that's all it is. It's an agent, so it automatically adds the node there. Some of these are kind of classification. So if I click on connector, this pops up, but it's already filtered by connectors, and then I can search from there, which is nice. Same thing with functions. It's already filtered down to what are the possible functions, and it just makes it way easier to get to the things that I need, the things that are more common, right? So you don't have to just like search every single time. Um, what else is new? So if else, just same idea, just like looks a little bit different because it's more horizontal now, but I can go to the if side, the else side, and keep adding actions on those branches. Loop, same thing, a little bit different look with this like dotted border, but I can add the actions inside the loop. Same idea, looks a little bit better. And then lastly, notes. So if you've ever used like the whiteboard capability inside Teams, this is kind of similar, being able to add sticky notes and drag and drop. So I can leave these for myself or for other devs or admins that are coming in here to maintain this workflow. So that can come in handy as well. And then I think the last thing, so variables. Again, we have this little shortcut that will just automatically add the variable. But what's really nice is we can do multiple variables now in the single node. So, the old way, we have this vertical flow to, you're initializing like 5 variables back to back to back, and it already, chews up a lot of space in your flow designer. So now we can do it all at the same time in one individual node. I have not confirmed this, but my assumption is that these will, each individual initialization will still chew up Copilot credits. Again, not verified, but that's what I assume. If you're not familiar, any little thing you do inside of an agent, in more specifically in workflows or agent flows, every little action consumes a like Copilot credit or message in some form. And so before, you would have to have individual nodes, one for each initialization, and those would count as your actions that are consuming credits. I assume this is going to be the same way. It's just a cleaner look when you're jumping through this workflow and trying to maintain it. So here we'll just try to get something quick and easy going. So I just have a Dataverse table called time off. So I'm going to add a connector, search for Dataverse. I just want to list rows to query it. So very similar here, just a little bit different look, but the properties pane on the right where I can configure this. I can add a connection. For Dataverse, I need to pick my table. This is like sorted. I don't know if it's sorted by schema name or whatnot, but I can at least type in here to search. So I can pick time off. So I'm just going to query. I'm just going to pull back all the records. And then I will want to respond back to the agent as well. I will want to return the time off records as well. This is one thing. Before there used to be like an option for just the body of the result, which that isn't showing up here. So I'm just going to do an expression, the body. I just want the full body here. So what's interesting is this will not work well. So we'll have to see how that turns out. But we used to be able to do the name of the node and not, the GUID and connector. So I'll have to play around with it more to see if it's still possible to do based on the name of the node. Otherwise, that would be difficult to kind of manually add your own expressions. So we'll see how that turns out. Let's just publish this real quick, see if we can get it to run. So the other thing, because we're adding the flow from the flow outside of an agent, we still need to go back to the agent and then come and add it here under tools. So, this is public preview, so I'm assuming this is all going to get better. I forgot to rename it. Should be fine. All right, so our workflow is added as a tool here. We'll just name this real quick. All right, not going to bother updating instructions, just should figure out the right tool to use. All right, so it triggered our workflow here. It's saying there's no records. I feel like there should be at least one, but let's see if we can look at what the runs look like. So we'll switch here, go to activity. Interesting. So this is a little bit messier, I feel like. I mean, it still shows us the green succeeded. This took 0 seconds. The query took 0.28 seconds. I think that is a little bit more detailed. But this pane over here isn't the greatest. I guess we can expand each of these. So the output was successful, 200. But yeah, some of this is, I can copy it, but I can't easily expand it. So some of this still, I feel like, has a little bit of work to do. But I think the issue, we queried the data successfully, it just didn't output it based on, I think, the expression I was using wasn't great. But anyways, you get the idea of this new UI and how it works. It's still, in preview, but I think it's a great start. There's just going to be some little nuances of things that we're not used to and whatnot. But yeah, there you have it for the first look of this new UI, and I'll keep putting out more videos as more updates come and as we figure out more tips and tricks with this new UI. So thanks for watching.